Fanny Lumsden, it's a pleasure to welcome you for the very first time to Noise11.com.
Thank you very much for having me. The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah, we'll sort of talk a bit about you. And before we get to you, we'll talk about why we're here to talk today. And it's another F, not a Fanny, but a Fleetwood Mac.
Alliteration at its best. It was always waiting to happen, wasn't it? Yeah. Fleetwood Mac. This is really exciting. It's
yes. So you joined the lineup for Yesterday's Gone, the Fleetwood Mac show that was on last year. Lisa Mitchell was doing it last year. She's not around this year, and in you come.
Lisa and I actually went to high school together, so it's kind of a nice little high five, I think, like a little pass the baton. In Albury, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, I'm really excited. Something totally new for me. I've never done anything like this before, which is kind of thrilling.
This would be as most pop rock as you've ever got, I would imagine, as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, obviously I am very broadly under the country genre. But yes, I think definition wise, it definitely would be. And like also like totally, I think everybody knows and loves Fleetwood Mac to some capacity. And I think that I've just been kind of one of those people who's kind of just absorbed it from culture, and I've never really done a deep dive. So I can't be like, I'm not like this avid fan who knows every detail about it. I grew up under a rock in regional Australia. So I'm coming to it with really kind of like, I'm really curious to learn so much more about the band. I obviously know the songs. Who doesn't know the songs? So it has been kind of exciting, but also kind of funny because I was like, oh, I'm going to have to learn a lot more about this band than I currently know.
Well, how much do you know of them? Have you ever seen them live, for instance?
I haven't. I've never seen them live. Look, I've obviously know their songs, such iconic songwriters and the band and their story, like their overall story I know, and how the couples came together and like all like they joined and then it all like kind of blew up in a pretty amazing way and came out with the Rumours album. And so I know the basics, but to be I think it's kind of, I was thinking about how I was going to approach these, kind of like talking about these, and I was like, well, you just got to be honest and tell your own story. And for me, I'm actually discovered the Landslide song through the Chicks, or the formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, through the Chicks, because they covered it, and I loved them growing up. And my husband, who was into much heavier music, discovered their song through the Smashing Pumpkins. And I just think that speaks so much about like their songwriting, if that you can like bring these totally different genres and can introduce you both from totally different angles into one band. It says a lot about that band, and it says a lot about those songs. So I think that's pretty cool.
So do you get to do many of the songs from Rumours?
Yeah, I do. It's going to be, I think it's a pretty amazing set list. They've crafted it so well, and I get to come in and just kind of like benefit from all those amazing decisions that have been made. And yeah, I do get to do Landside as well, which is very exciting.
When you get to sing a song from Rumours, and
Yes.
we all know the story, all the interrelationships that were happening in that band, they were all breaking up with each other at that point.
Yeah.
John with Christine, Lindsay with Stevie. It's a bitter, bitter lyrical album. Do you feel the anger when you sing the songs?
Yeah, it's kind of powerful. I think thinking about like where that energy came from, like when they was each sitting down and when those songs were formed, to think that was like sometimes in the room staring at each other with all of those feelings inside, and then coming out with a song like that. I think there's so much power in it, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to like bring that to life in like these beautiful theaters, kind of all around the country. So yeah, it's pretty. I was actually just talking about this morning how like, because my husband's in my band as well as my brother is, and like, I just can't imagine breaking up and then doing what they did. I'm not sure if I could do it. I'm not sure if I could. So like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
And not only was it a big selling album, it was one of the biggest selling albums of all time. I think it's in the top 10 selling albums of all time, even to this day.
I think that, yeah, like the power, that raw emotion, like there's just nothing like it. I mean, put together with like all of their talent and whatever else they were using to inspire them at the time. Um, it really just it created such a force of like nature that you can't really recreate it. Like you can't synthesize it. Like they just had to like were all in the right place at the right time. I mean, emotionally for them and their personal lives, not so much, but it ended up in this iconic and like classic album, which is yeah, I can't imagine being part of something so powerful at the time and then looking back maybe later and being like, wow, that was a lot of pain, but look what we made.
How are the songs allocated? Do you only do Christine songs, or do you only do Stevie Nicks songs, or do you do a mix of both?
No, they kind of mixed it up. So it's not so much like, a tribute, like where we're all like a person. It's more like an interpretation of the songs, which I really love. Because I feel like, no one can be those people apart from them. So like I wouldn't want to pretend in any kind of sense. And so yeah, we get to sing arrange a couple, like a few each, and then we're all backing each other up, and then like a bunch at the end as well, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, pre the 1976 album that was the Fleetwood Mac self-titled album, the one that had Rhiannon on it.
Mhm.
Prior to that, they had evolved out of being a blues band. Do you go back with this show back to the blues band days of Fleetwood Mac as well?
I think because there are just so many hits, obviously, it's like doing, the favorite of any big band. It's so hard to get all of them in there, isn't there?
What about Stop Dragging
Um,
My Heart Around?
yes, that is on it. That is definitely on it. Towards that will be definitely there.
Okay, so Stop Dragging My Heart Around was the Stevie Nicks duet with Tom Petty.
Yeah.
So are you singing that?
Yeah, that's a group song, which will be really great. So I think Karen's actually taking the lead vocals on that one though, with Cav. So that will be really powerful. And then I think the really cool thing about this tour is how they've like how they've mixed it all up, and it's not like predictable in that like, oh, here comes the Stevie Nicks, or here comes the like it's like different variations of that, and like obviously the heart of the songs, and then the musicians are incredible as well that they've got on the road. So I think it'll be really great.
Stop Dragging My Heart Around, the most incredible version I ever saw Stevie do solo, was one of the tours she had of Australia with Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders opening for them. So you had the Pretenders followed by Stevie Nicks, but Chrissie
Wow.
came back on and Chrissie sang the Tom Petty part in Stop Dragging My Heart Around in the show that
uh
they did here in Melbourne.
that's amazing. That would have been incredible.
The songs of Fleetwood Mac, they're such a big band, they're such iconic songs. Do you get to interpret them your own way?
Yeah, we do. We get to have some rehearsal days like right at the start. And obviously like they've kind of already shaped a lot of the show. But I'll get to come in and kind of put my flavor on how I interpret the songs. The arrangements are kind of we'll work with the band and the other members whoever's on each song, I think. And like yeah, just trying to give it a bit of. I don't want to like. We're not going to change them. I don't think that you need to change these songs too much, but definitely, I think performing them in your own style and the way that it suits your voice is so important because otherwise, it kind of just. I don't know. I don't think it's very believable otherwise.
So many shows, some big venues as well. Hamer Hall in Melbourne, State Theatre in Sydney, and I guess you'll be away weekends for about a month in August, September
Yeah.
with this one.
Well, I get back from overseas touring, and I go straight out to Monday to play the Monday Bash, and then I go straight on to this on the road with this. So, yes, it's going to be full on, but excellent. Like, and I think I'll just like the variation from the different tours is going to be amazing as well.
4 albums to your name. Hey Dawn was a year ago. Have you started to put album number 5 in your head yet?
I have, yeah, I have. I'm actually just trying to pull the brakes on it because I really just want to jump in and do it. But we've got some life left in Hey Dawn that we're still we're still rolling out. So we're going to be later in the year doing a tour called Story Club, which I kind of started last year, which was like a book club for the songs, once a week. And I'm going to take that on the road in a much more kind of intimate, like storytelling kind of sense. And so, yeah, we've still got a bit more of Hey Dawn to do, but yes, I am writing lots for the new record, and I do know what the world is, and I'm already like, yeah, we're all kind of like making plans for that already because yeah, I'm really excited about it. But yes, again, trying to just like make sure I don't jump the gun on this on Hey Dawn, because even though it's had such an unreal run, and only came out in August last year, so like yeah, it's still got some life in it left.
So Fanny Lumsden album number 5 will be 2025 then.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely not this year, no. An album campaign, because I'm self-managed as well, and we all run this business kind of like all ourselves. And then like when I'm putting a record out, I like deeply care about every single detail. We put a lot of work into like all the campaigning and the videos and like the merchandise and all of the things. So yes, an album is no small thing for me. So yes, I don't think I have the capacity to do it with the amount of touring we're doing this year.
Yeah. I was trying to add up your awards the other day, a couple of ARIAs, a couple of AIR awards. I think there's 7 Golden Guitar awards. Do you have a trophy room yet?
9 actually Golden Guitar Awards, to be honest.
9. I missed 2.
9, I know. Yes, they're on my mantelpiece, but I do need a pool room, don't I? I
You
need to
do
get
need a pool room.
Daryl Kerrigan style pool room soon. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all there at home, are they?
They are, yeah. They're on my shelf in the lounge room. I mean, people talk about being like using them as like toilet like holders, like toilet roll holders or doorstops, but no, I'm very proud of them. Like they were like it's pretty incredible. You know, like I said, I live in regional Australia. I'm self-managed. We do this like all ourselves. So like getting kind of all those little accolade points along the way. So such a big deal to us. So yeah, I got them on display.
What do people say when they come around to your house?
They're like, wow, it's a mess. Whoa, look at those awards. Usually I'm like, sorry, watch out for that washing pile. Oh, yeah, that's an aria.
So people in town recognize who you are. They know what you do.
Yeah, I think so. It's good though. Like small communities are pretty amazing. Like I grew up in a small community out in regional New South Wales, out western New South Wales, and I've lived now down here in this area for since 2016. So I mean, small communities, everyone knows everyone already. So it's pretty great. But yeah, people are really supportive, and I think that's amazing. Like to like come back to an area like this and feel supported by everyone. Like when we won our ARIA award, my parents had my kids over those couple of days, and I met them at the local pub, which is like there's just a pub, that's it, there's nothing else here. And it wasn't planned or anything, but when I walked in the door, like the whole pub stood up and we're like, woo, a big cheer, and like and then we just had some dinner there, and so I think that's really nice. It's a really nice side of living in a small community.
You have lived in Sydney though for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I gave it a crack, big smoke. And I loved it. It was amazing. I had a really great, I think I lived in Surrey Hills for about 6 years, 5.5. And yeah, I completely loved it. It was so different to living regionally, obviously. But I wouldn't have met my band, I wouldn't have met my husband. I probably wouldn't be at the same point of the, like maybe I wouldn't even have a career. I don't know. Like I think those decisions are all really important, and yeah, I really loved living in the city. It was great.
Living all your life in the country, and then when you go to Sydney to live, we're not talking about the suburb of Sydney. We're talking about smack bang in the middle of Sydney.
Yeah, I thought my theory was like, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it well, and I have to do it properly. And so may as well just chuck myself right in the middle. To be honest, I didn't really know much about all the different options. I didn't know much about the city. Like when I say I grew up under a rock, I kind of did. It was like, yeah, I learned a lot very quickly about city life, and But also just the music community was really amazing. Like I just started going to gigs and I didn't know how to do I didn't even know how to like properly I didn't know what a DI was. I didn't know how to plug my guitar in. I played music my entire life and performed in the Stedfords and stuff, but I'd never gigged. And so it was just such a massive learning curve moving to the city, but in every way, I think. But great.
Yeah. Well, yesterday's gone. The Fleetwood Mac Legacy is the show we're talking about. So you've got Karen Lee Andrews, Charlie Collins, and Cav Temperley of Eskimo Joe joining you on that, which is going to be fantastic. The 25th of August starts off in Hamer Hall in Melbourne, goes through to 17th of September in Newcastle. So you're going to be very, very busy before the end of this year if you've got an overseas trip, that, and then your own stuff after that.
Yes, yes, that yeah, we've got lots. We've got New Zealand and then as well before that, and then the Big Red Bash, and then yes, always on the road, always busy, which is the way I love it.
Well, it's been great to catch up with you, Fanny.
Thank you so much for having me.